It's been a while, hasn't it? Well, guess what? I'm still alive. And still developing games. Since the last video, I've made massive progress in the game that I was working on and started 2 new games. The second is what this video is about. So, recently I've been playing a lot of Souls-likes. And by that I mean playing and beating a lot of Souls-likes. Like Dark Souls 3, Sekiro, Lies of P, Elden Ring, and just recently Black Myth Wukong. Oh yeah, and I didn't have any trouble at all beating them because I'm just a god gamer. Okay, so maybe I had a little trouble. But I still did beat them. And I definitely didn't use easy mods off of Nexus mods. That's just disgusting.
No, stop! What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? No! No!
Okay, maybe I even used some mods to make it easier. But anyway, they got me inspired to make something like them. I've tried a couple of ideas, but none of them really stuck. But then, I had an idea to make a game about Azrael, the Angel of Death. It was going to be a 2D side-scroller with him using a scythe, kind of inspired by Shovel Knight. I drew some sprites and wrote some scripts so that he could move around, but it was kind of meh. Then, I thought about it a little, and decided to change it to a top-down action game, kind of inspired by the OG God of War trilogy. I wanted it to be chaotic, with hordes of enemies coming from all sides and the player cutting them down. I also changed my mind on that he would be the Angel of Death. Instead, the player is a blind priest. He still uses a scythe. I started to work on drawing the player sprites, but couldn't get something that looked right, so I decided to go pre-rendered. So I hopped into Blender and made a 3D model of the priest. Once I got him all colored, I gave him a ring and started animating. Once I had the idle frames, movement frames, and attack frames, I pulled them all into Unity and started coding. I reused the movement and health scripts from my RPG game, as well as the enemy script and a lot of others. Once I had all the movement and attacking done, I wanted to add a dash. After all, this is a Souls-like. I animated the dash frames and pulled them into Unity. It took me a while to get the dash working, and by that I mean quite a while. But eventually, I got it to work. So now the player can run around, attack, and dash. Great! Then I started making the HUD. I used Dark Souls and Black Myth Wukong as my template. I went into Blender and made the holy water bottle. That would be the flask or gourd for this game. I pulled it into Unity and placed it on the screen, imitating the position of the flask in Black Myth Wukong. Then I made the health bar and stamina bar. I also added a slider for the water inside the bottle. Then I could control the value through a script. I already had the health bar working from the RPG game, so I just added in stamina cost and the use of the bottle. So now when you dash and take stamina, the health bar changes when you lose health, and you can use the holy water bottle to regain health. Hooray! Then it was time to make the environment. I started by making the ground sprites. Then I made some gate sprites. Then I made a church sprite and placed it out. You would start out in front of the entrance. Then I made some road sprites and started making some roads. Then it was time to make the checkpoints. After thinking a little about what the checkpoint would be, I decided on making it be a holy water font. It would be my version of the bonfires from Dark Souls or the sites of grace from Elden Ring. Then came the part of coding the saving. I first thought of making the checkpoints actually save your position, but instead, I decided to have it that you are saved at the beginning of every level, but you can get checkpoints that you will respawn to when you die. However, you won't keep these checkpoints when you shut down the game. Just like Shovel Knight. I was happy with that since it was inside of my knowledge capabilities. So I started making the code for the checkpoint. I made it be that when you walk up to it, a little A button pops up telling you to press A. When you do, it sets itself to be the current checkpoint and gives you a little heads up saying, checkpoint reached. Then when you die, you'll be reset to that last checkpoint. Also, your health and holy water will be refilled. I was very pleased with myself when I got this all working. Now it was on to start making the actual level and enemies. But that's for another video. So, what do you think? Do you think it looks like the best thing you've ever seen and you're absolutely desperate to get your hands on it? Or does it just look kind of mid? Tell me what you think in the comments. And hey, if you haven't already, why don't you hit that like button and subscribe? I'd really appreciate it if you did. But anyway, that's it for today's video. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Good journey.